Hi, Aries, Sun and Rising. Welcome to your February 2023 Astro Update. It's Rena here. So we have Aquarius season for the first 2.5 weeks of the month. And Aquarius, the Sun is in Aquarius until the 18th. And this is the 11th house for you. And the 11th house is the house of friendships, social interactions, groups that you belong to, your hopes and wishes, and also gain, the house of gain. So that can be financially lucrative based on your career and how that's going. But in general, I would say with the sun here, you may be enjoying socializing even more than usual. And then on the 5th of the month, we have an opposition between the sun and the moon because the moon is, there's a full moon on the 5th at 16 degrees of Leo. So this falls in your 5th house, which is the house of love and creativity. And that opposition coming from the 11th house can really speak to, especially people who have been dealing with, like, let's say you've been dating someone and let's say that they are possessive and they don't like that you spend time with your friends, then you may end that loves or dating situation because you feel like that person's going to be too restrictive. Sometimes it can also be because it goes against your long-term goals. You may be dating someone and you realize that you don't even want to live in the country you're currently living in, and you're just not on the same page with your long-term goals as somebody else. Because the 11th house, when I said hopes and wishes, it can be long-term goals. I mean, that could be another name for it. The 5th house is not about relationships per se. That would be the 7th house, but it's on the road to that. So maybe you've fallen wildly in love at this full moon, or realize that you have, because a lot of times Aries people will be so keyed into attraction towards someone, the physical side of it, that the emotional side is something that you are not, maybe in some cases, giving like a high priority to. And then you find out that this physical attraction can only go so far. And that's why when you do fall in love, it might be with somebody who's not your quote unquote type, who you just really have a strong connection with, like a strong friendship even. And then you're like, wow, I actually have romantic feelings for that person. So it could be kind of a realization of that. It can be a time of conceiving children. So, obviously be careful. This can be a time of conceiving some kind of creative project. It's a very, the full moon is a very fertile time for those kinds of things. On the 11th, Mercury goes into Aquarius. So Mercury goes into this social area. You might be connecting with friends that, touching base with them that you haven't seen for a while, who you haven't seen for a while. Putting mental energy into long-range goals. Maybe you're writing them down. You're kind of looking them over. The sun goes into Pisces, as I stated earlier, on the 18th, and this is your 12th house, so this begins the hibernation period, the month before your solar return. And obviously, all of these transits, it's going to be depending on your degree of sun or rising, when exactly this occurs. But it'll occur sooner or later. So in this particular case, this is all about you kind of being more contemplative. Maybe you don't even feel as much physical energy. Um, Aries people are like energizer bunnies typically, and that includes the rising sign as well, I think, where there's just oodles of energy. But this might be the one time of the year where you do get a little bit feeling more tired. And that goes along very nicely for what this house represents. So it's not really that bad because maybe it forces you to kind of spend more time tending to your inner world than your outer world. Um, so you can make your debut again when the sun crosses over into that first house. Um, and with the the sun in Aries, when it goes to your degree of Aries, which, by the way, will not necessarily be on your birthday. It might be a day before, a day after, something like that. Um, on the 20th, we have a new moon at 1 degree of Pisces, and this is that 12th house as well. So that could bring in, especially at this early degree of Pisces, it could bring in some new spiritual teacher into your life, some new spiritual practice, or maybe you go to a new spiritual center. On the same day, Venus goes into your sign. So that's really cool because that means that um, you're able to attract more during this time. Attracting meaning that you are coming across in a very pleasant way, charming way. And when people do that, they tend to get more good stuff, right? So that's why people who are charming can be sometimes they can be like grifters or con men, con women, because um, they're able to manipulate people with their charm. But we're not talking about that. We're just talking about somebody who is has that aura of attractive qualities. If you're looking for love, I mean, it could be on that level too, that people want to date you if you're single. So, anyway, that can be a nice little transit as well for the next few weeks. So, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings called deep dive readings. I have another type of double reading that involves the tarot and then the natal chart interpretation called whole enchilada. So I actually have two of those package deals. And the deep dive is an hour of natal chart interpretation and an hour of transits for the next 12 months. So it's at a special price, and I do have standalone readings for everything from love, analyzing the natal chart, just doing transits, life path readings, the whole schmear. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.